Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Randy Mason. I am a hip hop artist, a percussionist, an educator, a minister, a husband, a father, and a child of God. And this is the Rhyme of the Day podcast, where we are going to feature a lyric, followed by a lesson, and finally some life application. Yo, shout out to Sean Croxton, who has the Quote of the Day podcast, which has been very impactful in my life. It's something that has inspired me. And so we're going to remix it in the spirit of hip hop, and we're going to do the Rhyme of the Day, ROTD. And so here's the first episode. We're going to listen to a verse that I wrote on a song called Wretched and Welcome, produced by Theory Has It, off the 4 More EP. And we're going to play the whole verse for context, but we're really going to focus on just one line, even one word. And so, yeah, check it out. Here is the Rhyme of the Day.
Christ died between two thieves. One went to heaven, the other to Hades. One said please, the other he said please. All three had very few breaths left to breathe. Like life, one was quite brief. Stingy with the syllables, word economy. He said, when you get to heaven, will you please remember me? While the other uttered a bunch of stuff that I can't repeat. Sheesh. What's the difference between these? Eternally separated by infinite degrees. Both got to meet Christ in a time of need. Both got to see Christ at the height of his ministry. See the similarity plus the polarity between the two. We all gotta choose who we gon' be. My plea, save a seat for a sinner like me. Like Pac, I believe there's a heaven for a G.
Yo, so there you have it. That is the verse. And the line that I want to focus on, one said please, the other he said please. So one, cried out for mercy, and the other one basically mocked the living God. And so this lyric comes from a scripture, comes from the text that you can find in the Gospels. I'm going to look at the Gospel of Luke chapter 23, verse 39 through 43, and it says this. One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you are the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God, even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." Wow, one of the most profound stories in the Bible to me personally. And and so I basically, in the lyric in the song, I paraphrased that whole interaction with one word, please. You know what I mean? Like one said please as a cry for mercy, and one said please, sarcastically mocking the living God, and basically rejecting the love of God. And this is something that we are faced with every day, actually, whether to receive the love of God or reject the love of God, right? Whether to trust and rely on God or to trust and rely on ourselves. So one of the criminals was like, "Yo, man, whatever, I got this." And, I'm basically dismissed Jesus, even in that critical moment when he was just breaths away from dying, But the other, had, man, he recognized that Jesus was his only hope, essentially. You know what I mean? And he said, "Hey, remember me." And Jesus said, "Today you will be with me in paradise," which is, remarkable, because this brother, never said the sinner's prayer. This brother didn't attend church. This brother was not baptized, likely was not baptized. You know what I mean? Like all the things that we view as markers of the Christian life. Like he he didn't experience any of that, right? He didn't do anything to earn God's love. He just humbled himself and said, would you please remember me? I recognize that, I have done wrong in my life, and I need, if you are who you say that you are, please remember me. And that's just amazing. And, the Bible also says in James chapter 4, verse 6, and God gives grace generously, as the scriptures say. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And James is referring to an Old Testament proverb that says in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 34, the Lord mocks the mockers, but is gracious to the humble. Wow. So we don't want to be mocked by the living God. No way. We need the remarkable grace of God. And so the application is this: we all experience suffering. We all experience hardship, just like both of those brothers who were being crucified beside Jesus. And we are all infinitely closer to God than we realize, right? So those guys were being crucified next to Jesus, the living God. And we might say, man, that's not me. But check this out. The scriptures teach us that God is not only the source of life, but God is life. God is himself being, existence. That means that we are constantly in the presence of the living God if we are alive and in this earth that God has made. That means God is just, wow, so much closer to us than we realize, which means that we, like the criminals on the cross, have the same opportunity every day to either receive God's love or to reject God's love, either to say please in a cry for mercy, or please in sarcasm and in mockery. And so, that's what I would like us to think about today as we go about our day. Remember, this can be played out in 1,000 little ways every day. Here's one. I'll leave you with this. For some application or rapplication. I've been playing with that. Rapplication is kind of interesting, right? Like rap application. Is this: I want you to think about the areas of your life where you are experiencing hardship, discomfort, maybe suffering. It could be a relationship. It could be something that maybe where you're experiencing disappointment, or could be, work related. Could be personal. It could be spiritual. Something that's just been hard for you. It could be, some sort of sin. Something that is wrong, or addiction, or something that you've been wrestling with, and you just like, something that's been really, really difficult for you. And I want you to now imagine Jesus beside you, right? And I want you to have a conversation. It could be 30 seconds or less. What the brother said to Jesus was, it seems like, less than a minute or two, just very few words. But what would you say to Jesus about that thing? Are you going to say, please, like, I need help, please remember me, please remember this situation? Or are you going to say, oh, please, are you kidding me? Come on, what can Jesus do for me? How can God help me? And then, the flip side is, I want you to think about areas of your life where you're experiencing great success, where you are flourishing, where things are going really, really, really well for you. Maybe you feel really great about, your profession or what you are accomplishing, at work or in with your family, or whatever. You're leading in some capacity, or you're just proud of, what you've accomplished and where you are in life. And now, in the same way, I want you to imagine Jesus is standing beside you. What do you have to say to him? Is it thank you? Is it please remember me? Remember these situations. Please help me to steward these things well. Is it an expression of gratitude? Or is it Who are you? Why are you here? Why are you in my way? Excuse me. You know, that's for you to decide. That is the rhyme of the day. That's the lyric. That's the lesson. That's the life application. Yo, if you enjoyed this, I would love to know. If you have any questions, please do share them. Share this with some people. This is a pilot. This is, an idea that I'm working out. And so love to hear your feedback. My name is Randy Mason. This is the rhyme of the day. Peace.